Hello cookies, it's Iry. I am back and today I'm bringing you this very quick and easy back to university or back to school makeup look. This video is going to be divided in two tutorials. The first one is a look that takes 15 minutes and it is basically step one of this look. It is really quick, really simple, really easy for those days when you are running out of time or when you just do not feel like applying too much on but you still want to look alive. And then you have this one right here that takes me between 15 to 30 minutes, which is for me very quick because I can take up to 2.5 hours to do my makeup. And this one is very easy as well. There's not much going on. And this is for when you need a pick-me-up and maybe you have a hot date after university. This look is really good as well if you just go from the first look to this one, because you can pack a bit of makeup in your bag and then apply this right after school if you have some events happening after school. I'm starting with my bare face. I only have moisturizing cream on and the remnants of my eyelash extensions. I will make very soon a video about my experience because this is the first time I am trying eyelash extensions, and I will tell you all the pros and cons that I have experienced having them on. If you're familiar with my videos, you would know that I would usually use the Cover FX anti-aging primer, which I have been using for the last 2 years non-stop. But I recently bought this VDL Expert Mattifying Fix Mist. That is a mouthful to say. And this is supposed to be both a primer and a fix mist, just like my Urban Decay Fix Mist. And since my Urban Decay one is almost finished, I decided to buy this one and try it. And I am trying it now to see whether I'm going to have rashes or acne coming out due to this product, because we're heading soon for a Europe road trip and I want to make sure that if I use this, I'm not going to break out. I have no idea if this makeup will turn out okay or if this spray will just totally destroy it, but we shall see together. Ooh, wow, it smells strong. It smells, ooh, wow, okay, so it smells really strong and I think I sprayed some on my microphone. Hopefully it survived. Oh wow, I'm not sure I like the idea of having perfume on my face because it is supposed to be very clean, as in natural ingredients and things like that, but since I'm sensing a lot of perfume, yes, I don't know, we shall see. I'm going to be mixing the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation Medium 58 Warm that I have been using for the last year with this Kevyn Aucoin, the Sensual Skin Enhancer Concealer. And this is perfect. Sometimes I feel like this foundation gets a little bit too cakey, but when I mix it with this, it turns out perfect. And I started to get a little bit tanner recently. And when I say started, it seems like my tan is not fading. And for those of you who know me, you know I do not like getting a tan, especially because now I have to mix foundations, which is way too troublesome for me. But I'm going to do it anyway. So I started to get a tan since June. That does not seem to disappear anytime soon, so I'm just going to try and mix the right foundation shade, just the same way as I did with my grandmother actually, if you saw my video doing makeup on her. It seems like the spray has more or less dried out on my face and I do not feel like it provided enough coverage, as I am used to primers giving a lot of coverage. Oh, it was still wet under my nose and I'm not convinced yet, but let's see how it goes. So I'm just going to apply my foundation. I'm wondering whether this time I actually made it a bit too dark. But in all honesty, I prefer it a bit too dark than a bit too light, because if it is a bit too dark, then I get a nice orangey tone, I guess. But if it is way too light, I just look gray. So let's see how this turns out then. You might be hearing my bracelet that I have been wearing for the last weeks non-stop, banging against. Oh, it might be super annoying. Sorry about that, cookies. I have to say that I actually do enjoy the way my foundation applied this time. I'm not sure whether it is because I had too much of the concealer, because this concealer never ever cakes, or whether it is thanks to the new spray. But I like the fact that my face is caking way less than usual. It's not like I am caking every single day, but sometimes I need to dab for an extra long time to get my foundation even and not to settle in my wrinkles. I think I got it a little bit too dark, but like I mentioned earlier, I prefer it too dark than too light anyway. And since I'm going to be using concealer, I can always fix the base. But the base for me is the most important thing. I have said that in almost all of my talk through makeup tutorials, and I still stick to that principle. If the base is right and the eyebrows, everything else goes right as well. Talking about concealer, I'm going to use this Amazing Cosmetics Amazing Concealer, which I actually forgot to show you on my beauty haul video, and the mist I forgot to show you as well, but both of them I bought at the same time as I bought all the other products. And I have been using this concealer non-stop for the last month, and I do not like it. It is way too cakey, and I honestly regret buying it because it is very expensive. I can't remember how much it cost, but I will write it somewhere here. And I really do not like it, but at the moment I cannot find a concealer that is good enough. The one that I used to use has expired even a year before I stopped using it, which is pretty bad. And I cannot find any concealer that is yellow and green enough for my skin tone, because I'm very olive greenish yellowish. So if you cookies know of any concealer that is very yellow and very green, do let me know in the comment section down below, because I am in desperate need of a good concealer. So I'm using the tiniest amount of concealer under my eyes and just dabbing it with my finger, and later on I will be dabbing it with the beauty blender. So this is the only way I found works with this concealer, and sometimes it's still even caking, so I have no clue what to do with it. And it smells horrible as well. It smells like I bought this on the streets of Madagascar for 50 cents. And for those of you who bought those types of products, which I definitely did, made in China, 50 cents products from the street, been in the sun for the last 60 days, they have a particular smell, and this concealer smells just like those products, which is to me very suspicious. But reading reviews, people say that they experienced the same smell, and it was supposed to be normal for this concealer to smell that way. So this step here is the optional step for the more advanced look, when you have a little bit more time to get ready for school. So I'm taking my Inglot AMC Face and Body Illuminator, and I am going to apply it on my hand first. I love the fact that it gives a very subtle glow after I set my foundation and concealer with some powder, but I really like the glow it gives, and I'm just applying a little bit. I tried, for my greatest dismay, to apply it after I set with my powder, and that was a disaster. It turned out horrible because it stuck to the powder and it got chunky, and I had to remove all my makeup and do it again. So I do not recommend using this illuminator if you already have powder on, because it will not be good. Well, at least for me, it didn't turn out good, but maybe for you, if you're lucky and if you have some magical type of powder. And one thing as well is that this illuminator is thick for a liquid illuminator, and you have to blend for quite some time unless you want to have some illuminator streaks under your makeup in the end. And see, here I have a chunk of the illuminator that does not want to get blended, and that is what I'm talking about. If you have powder and then the illuminator, it's going to get even chunkier. So now I managed to deal with it, and I keep on just blending. Next, I'm going to set my concealer with Ben Nye Luxury Banana Powder that I have been using for the last 2 years, and see, it is halfway finished. I went and set it in the bathroom because I was foreseeing a disaster, and I am happy I did not try and do it here because I already got some powder all over the floor. Now I'm going to set my face with the Marina Beauté Mordoré powder that I've also been using non-stop for the last 2 years. Onto the eyebrows, I'm going to use the Front Row Cosmetics eyebrow pencil. And look how tiny it is. I think the first time I showed you guys this, it was still very long. And this is the only brow thing I've been using constantly for the last 1.5 years. And now it got so tiny. And I am so sad about it because it is just so freaking perfect. So now I am on the lookout as well for a good brow pen. I might actually just get the same, but customs from the United States are killing me. If you've seen my most pathetic haul ever, you will know what I'm talking about when I mention customs. And if you've seen my beauty haul as well, customs. So yes, I really want to get the same pen, but customs. And since this is the quick look version, I'm going to just fill my eyebrows in really roughly. And that is the reason I have had fluffy eyebrows for the last 1.5 years as well. I noticed that when my eyebrows are fluffier, as in not too skinny, it gets easier to fill them in, and even if I do not do it perfectly, it still looks okay. These are my eyebrows after 2 minutes of filling them in very quickly, and they're definitely not perfect, but I think they're okay. If you're doing the more advanced look because you have a bit more time on your hands, you can definitely work a bit longer on the eyebrows, but I'm going to stop here and do the next step, which is of course eyebrow mascara. This is the Etude House eyebrow mascara that I have showed you in my beauty haul video and August favorite video, and I will never do my eyebrows without using this for as long as I will still have some blondish hair, because when my eyebrows are way too dark, the only thing you see are the eyebrows on my face. You do not see anything else. People meet me and go, "Oh, hello, eyebrows," which I do not really want, and these keep my eyebrows in place as well. If I'm running out of time, I will just apply some light coat of mascara on my eyes, and that's it. I'm not going for eyeshadow or anything complicated. I will of course show you later on the more advanced version. When I have no time, I do not contour my face, but since I still want a little bit of color and a little bit of differentiation between my cheeks and the under cheeks, I am going to use this Hot Mama from the Balm. This is basically an eyeshadow blush powder that I use to get some color, and it is also a really good highlighter. I took this with me when we were in Spain, and this was just so perfect because I did not have time to get ready for 1 hour, but I still wanted to have something going on in this area. I didn't want to just go for mascara, eyebrows, base and then lips, and here it would just look very empty. What I like the most about it is that depending on the angle, it is either pink or gold. So if you look at it from front, I think it looks more or less pink, but if you look at it from the side, it looks gold. And it is 2-in-1 for me. It is both a highlighter and a blush. Even if you apply too much, because it is so discreet and just because it is the way it is, you can never get too heavy-handed with it, which I sometimes tend to get when it comes to blush. But I've never gotten too much blush using this one. Not sponsored, they did send me this a year and a half ago, even 2 years ago, and I never really used it because I thought the shade was too light for my skin tone. Now that I have tried it in Spain, I am addicted. I just love it. Even though I said I do not contour when I am running out of time in the morning, I always make sure I have some time left to put this shade here on my nose just to create a little bit of definition because my nose is so flat and tiny. I really need this. Onto the lips, I do love very defined lips, but when I am stressed out and looking at the clock, I just cannot define them properly, and one side looks higher, one side looks rounder. It is just a complete disaster. The same way goes with eyeliner. I never do eyeliner if I am in a rush because it will never turn out right, at least for me. So for the lips, I'm just going to use this Dior lip gloss, which is just amazing. I received this as a gift a long time ago and I really like it. I used to be a lot into lip glosses when I was a teenager, then I stopped using them, and since I've received this, I have just been totally addicted to using lip glosses again. And this is my go-to university look for when I woke up too late. It is very easy, and in all honesty, it takes less than 15 minutes to achieve it. If you think about it, the eyebrows are the only thing that could take a little bit of time, but since I skipped defining my lips, I skipped blending eyeshadows and applying eyeliner, there's nothing much really that takes a long time. It's just about applying things. I do know that if I am really fast, it takes me 3 songs. Yes, I do count using songs, which is about 10 minutes. So when I tell you that this takes maximum 15 minutes, it actually does. On to the more advanced look that usually would take me half an hour to 40 minutes, depending on how precise I am. And the beauty of it is that this look can 100% be upgraded to the more advanced look any time of the day. Let's say that you brought some makeup with you because you have a hot date after school in the evening. The only thing you have to remove is the lip gloss, and honestly, by the end of the day, your lip gloss is probably not there anymore anyway, so no need to remove anything, and you can just grab your brushes, a little bit more makeup, and apply some more. I'm going to start with the eyes, and I'm going to take Mustard from the Lime Crime Venus 2 palette using a big brush from the OPV Cosmetics line. I'm just going to apply it all over my eyelids. Keep in mind that this is still a university look, so I still do not want to spend a lot of time doing this look. So I'm keeping it fairly simple. You can apply an eyeshadow primer if you want. I usually skip it just because I do not feel like using it. For all of you out there who have a yellow undertone and you're tired of using brown as a natural shade for everyday use, try this Mustard shade from the Venus 2 palette. It is so flattering on yellow undertone skin tones. One more thing that I noticed about Mustard is that I do not need much blending, because even without blending, and this is me not blending, it looks like it is blended just because the shade is so natural looking on yellow undertones. Now I'm going to use Fly from the same palette. Using this Bibella Cosmetics tiny brush, I'm just going to apply it on the inner corner of my eye for some light. Very lightly, and yes, this shade is greenish goldish. This shade is very flattering for yellow undertones on the inner corner, and it is so different from the traditional gold or white. So it gives you a tiny bit of color without being too obnoxious. Next, for the eyes, I'm going to use this Etude House eyeliner in my waterline, and I have shown you this eyeliner in my beauty haul video. Now the thing is, it is a bit too stiff for my taste, and I have to rub many times over here before I get a decent color payoff. So I'm not totally happy about it, but it is the only one I have, so I am using it, but not really recommending it. Onto the cheeks, I am now going to do my regular cheeks routine to create some 3D cheeks. And this is the routine that I have been showing all of my customers when I was still working as a makeup artist, both freelance and on beauty counters. So because I'm going a bit more heavy duty, I'm going to use this Moodstruck Minerals blusher from Unique, and you're probably 100% sick of seeing this. But when I find products that I like, I stick to them because they work for me. Next step to build the cheekbones is, of course, some contouring. I'm going to use the same palette as earlier for my nose on this Bella Cosmetics brush, and I'm using the middle shade here. This one here that is Rich in Pan because I'm using it so much. Then I'm just going to contour as I usually do. I'm having a weird hair day today. I have no idea why it does not want to behave. But just bear with me, cookies, that my hair is just super weird today. I have no idea what it's doing. So basically where I contour is under the cheekbones and here on the side. You do not have to put it here if you do not have a large face, but my face is just so round and large and huge. And I'm just applying it here and here and here. I think many people have talked about this 3 thingy, but I do not drag it here anymore. I used to. But for this look, I'm not doing that. I'm doing it if I am doing a lot of heavy duty makeup, meaning if I apply much more than what I am doing. If I'm going for an evening date or something a little bit more formal, then I would definitely apply here. But today I'm just sticking to this area here. Still using the same shade, I am of course going to define my nose a little bit. And just as a quick memo, this is actually the wrong brush to do this, but all of my brushes that I usually use to do this step of my makeup are dirty. So I am just using the only one that is tiny and clean that I still have. And it is applying too much product on one location. So I'm having a hard time with this. Tip of the day. Always grab the right brush for your nose, otherwise you're going to have a wonky nose. On to my favorite part, and it is of course highlighter. I've spent the last 10 minutes looking for this palette. I thought I had lost it, but it was actually hiding under the things on the desk. And I am going to use this shade right here for my cheekbones, and I'm going to use this shade right here for the rest of the face, and I got some highlighter all over my hand. This one actually fell, that's why it looks like it hit pan. But this one hit pan just because it is the only shade I am ever using all the time. And it is almost finished. So I totally recommend this palette. I think it was featured in my August 2016 favorites actually. And this is totally the proof that when I tell you that I like something, I actually honestly do, to the point that it reaches pan. Remember when I applied the Inglot liquid highlighter, I'm just applying it over the highlighter to boost the effect a little bit, and it looks just super freaking perfect. It is not too much, it is not too crazy, it is just enough, and I love it. So this step here, I honestly only ever do it when I have time to do the whole shebang with the contouring with the powder, a little bit stronger blush. Because when I do this step without too much on my face, I just look oily. So I usually do not apply much highlighter if I do not go for the whole full face. To me, this step also tells me that I am almost done with the look, and I love it. Now onto the darker shade. A little bit here and a little bit here as well. Not too much, just enough to have some glow happening. Yes. perfect. Woohoo! And of course, the Cupid's bow. And the last step is of course the lips, and I'm going to use Lolita 2 by Kat Von D, which is the lipstick I used on my wedding day. It is one of my absolute favorite with the Born Committed and Trustworthy. One sad news about Trustworthy is that it fell from my desk and it broke, which is really weird because it is plastic here, but it broke here in the middle, so I had to throw it. I intended on using it today for this look, but I just threw it. And it makes me quite sad actually, because I think that those 3 lipsticks, the Born Committed, the Born Trustworthy, and this one are my most used lipsticks, and it makes me sad to throw it, but I might actually buy a new one because I totally love that shade. But today I'm then going to use Lolita 2, which is also super duper perfect, so I do not mind. And the next step is of course this VDL Expert Mattifying Fix Mist that we applied before the makeup, and now let us try its staying power after the makeup. Again, I am not convinced about the smell of it. It smells way too strong for me. But since as a primer it seemed like it worked okay, let us see as a fixing spray. And this is the final look. Of course, you can definitely adapt it to what you want. And I do know that some people never leave the house without eyeliner. Even when I use my absolute favorite eyeliners, somehow they tend to just shift down here because I have oily eyelids. Well, I actually put a lot of oily stuff on my eyelids, not anymore because I of course have eyelash extensions. But I usually put a lot of very oily stuff on my eyelids, so my eyeliner tends to just run under my eyes, and I get stressed at university because I am focused on everything. I'm running between classrooms to catch the next lecture, and when I used to do filmmaking, we would go outside and film on the street and it is sunny, or we would film sometimes in the jungle, and black eyeliner just does not work in that type of setup. Of course, now I'm going back to university to study business, so hopefully there's not going to be any lecture in the jungle, but at the same time I just feel like I look fresher and younger and more awake when I do not have black eyeliner on. And that's the end of this video. I hope you cookies enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you do not want to miss the upcoming videos. Let me know in the comment section down below if you would like more back to school or university related videos, and I will gladly film them for you. And until next time, I will see you cookies at the next video. Bye!